Alright folks, welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Don Father and I'm going to be doing a reaction video now for a brand new patron of the channel, Mark Bauer from New Jersey in the United States of America. Thank you very much for your support, Mark. It means a great deal and it's greatly appreciated. I hope you'll enjoy the video and the reaction that I do for you. You'll get, obviously, you've got another request. I'll get to doing that as soon as I can for you, mate. Also, anyone who would like to have something similar, a personalised reaction video, check out our Patreon account in the description section below where you can become a patron. It really does help the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much. So the video that we're reacting to is the first Medal of Honor ever recorded. I know a little bit about it, but I have withheld from holding the video for so long, and it's the perfect timing. Somebody has become a patron and it's a request for them due to their Patreon, joining my Patreon page, and it's also a video I've really wanted to do for a while, so it kills two birds with one stone and it's just the best time for it. Anyway, this video, the link to the original video will be in the description section below as always, along with the Patreon, like I've already said, and Instagram, our merchandise, and my other YouTube channel as well, so check that out. Anyway, no more talking then, let's go.
Chapman, a U.S. Air Force combat controller, and the SEALs are attempting to rescue their lost teammate. You'll watch Chapman's heroic actions as he saves the lives of his entire SEAL team and then another 18 members of a quick reaction force, earning America's highest award, the Medal of Honor. Chapman and the SEALs exfil their MH-47 helicopter. John is the second individual to exit and immediately moves in the direction of the summit. He can be seen moving off to the right of the screen, alone. The team is taking heavy fire from every direction, as indicated by the arrows, as Chapman begins engaging targets.
Wow.
You can see spent cartridges ejecting from his M4. Chapman then begins closing with the enemy, forcing his way upslope in knee and thigh-deep snow.
So he's actually going uphill there.
He is constantly under fire as he does this.
See it now, more clearly.
Chapman's team leader begins to close on Chapman, following his trail through the snow. The dark mass above Chapman is a fortified bunker containing two enemy fighters, each armed with AK-47s, who are firing down on the team in the darkness. This bunker will come to be known as Bunker Number 1.
How many bunkers is there?
To the left of the tree and Bunker 1 is another gray mass. This is a rock outcropping that came to be called the Boulder. Between Bunker 1 and this boulder can be seen the body of slain SEAL Neil Roberts, the man Chapman and the others are attempting to recover.
So he's already been killed at this point, possibly. But
Chapman, still alone and closest to the enemy, pauses to engage targets as his team leader follows him, but never actually catches up with him.
Just pausing it here for a second. I'm noticing obviously the rest of the team are, I don't know, I can't tell the scale of how far he's travelled. I'm guessing 20 to 50 metres possibly behind him, and of course his team leader maybe 10 metres behind him again. But Chapman, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of cover for him, and also the old pairs fire and manoeuvre thing up the hill isn't really an option because he finds himself quite in an advanced position from the rest of his team. Whether or not that was accidental or it was because as soon as they came out of the chopper they're under enemy gunfire from like 4 positions, so they were disorientated straight away. Maybe the team behind them are also still engaging the rear target and Chapman's 6. I'm not too sure. It's very difficult to see from the footage what is going on from the other firing positions, but Bunker Number 1 certainly Chapman's main focus at this point, and of course the man they've been tasked to go save is just behind that, between that and the boulder. But as I was about to say, or as I've already said, sorry, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of cover from this footage. Open terrain, so you could imagine the rounds are coming down on top of him pretty heavy, and it would be quite a scary situation.
Chapman, on his own, now makes the decision to charge directly into the enemy bunker, despite withering point-blank fire. Chapman, now literally on top of the enemy, engages the two combatants and kills them, saving the lives of the remaining SEALs.
Wow.
He does this from a distance of no more than 10 feet.
10 feet,
These
okay.
actions, by themselves, earned him his first Medal of Honor. He then climbs into and takes control of the bunker. Having cleared the immediate threat, Chapman is then joined by his team leader in Bunker 1.
Okay.
You can then see Chapman and his team leader engaging the next bunker, known as Bunker 2, which is situated to the left edge of the screen. This bunker, manned by a handful of Chechen and Uzbek fighters, also contains a heavy PKM machine gun, hand grenades, and rocket-propelled grenades.
So just before I get into this now, we're going up to Bunker 2. Of course, they've cleared Bunker 1, or Chapman rather, has cleared Bunker 1 and his team leader is now with him. If you can see the images of the rest of the team closing up the gap now, but of course still some distance away from the bunker. And no time to mess about. They're obviously receiving enemy gunfire from bunker number 2, so they've cleared that position, and it's now all your attention onto bunker number 2 where the enemy gunfire is coming from. And I can imagine Chapman's ass is going 5 pence, 50 pence, 5 pence, 50 pence at this moment in time. Adrenaline is pumping, panic possibly as well, but being a well-trained soldier that he is, he's not letting the fear take over. He's immediately focusing all of his attention onto bunker number 2, where there's Chechen fighters. And what I was going to say about them is, if you can get close to these guys, we know quite a bit about Chechen fighters. Quite good fighting up close and personal. Obviously, without the weapons, they would be like mountain people, wouldn't they? You've seen a few of them in the UFC where they're into the wrestling and the hand-to-hand sort of fighting, so there would be no mugs if he gets up close to them. So he's not fighting against untrained, untalented people. These are quite highly skilled soldiers that he's coming up against here, and it would be quite a frightening situation.
John Chapman is shot twice at this time in the torso and collapses, incapacitated.
Wow.
You are now looking at a new angle, and at the left of the screen can be seen the two-man fire team and team leader on top of the boulder. Just below it is Bunker 1 with the mortally wounded Chapman. One SEAL can be seen firing his modified M60 machine gun from the hip into Bunker 2 on the right side of the screen until he is struck by grenade shrapnel and tumbles 10 feet off the top of the boulder, collapsing at the feet of his team leader, thus setting off a chain of events that would lead to the SEALs abandoning Chapman on the summit. The wounded SEAL and the team leader can be seen conferring about his injuries. Moments later, the SEALs decide to retreat from the summit because their position is untenable in the face of continued massive enemy firepower. They can be seen moving toward the right side of the screen and passing the body of Neil Roberts. Unfortunately, the SEALs do not pass John Chapman, who is above them and inside Bunker 1. This angle shows 3 SEALs in a triangle. The larger black heat signature is a smoke grenade. Just to its left is a donkey and dead Al-Qaeda fighter killed by Chapman. The steepness of the mountain can be seen as the SEALs begin to slide down the near sheer face. The team leader, desperate for relief and now with 2 wounded teammates, asks for uncontrolled airstrikes from an orbiting Air Force AC-130 gunship.
Right
the
on
impacts
top
you
of
see are
them.
from 105mm howitzer rounds being fired onto the ridgetop in order to save the remaining SEALs. Because neither the SEALs nor gunship know Chapman is alive, he is experiencing these detonations from his position. At approximately 5:20 in the morning, Chapman recovers and begins to engage the enemy. Bunker 1 is on the right side center of the screen and Bunker 2 to the left near the screen center. It will never be known what caused his incapacitation and recovery. Of the 2 rounds that originally wounded him, At least one was mortal, and at this time he is experiencing severe blood loss and shock. Despite that, he begins his one-man stand against 24 enemy combatants. During this time, Chapman initiates a series of radio calls, many of which are heard by a fellow combat controller and teammate of his and Delta Force operators on a nearby summit. Despite this combat controller's replies, Chapman never acknowledges whether because of damage to his equipment or himself will never be known. This new angle and footage shows Chapman at the top, identified by the green dot under the tree at Bunker 1. The lower center of the screen shows the first enemy fighter who is about to charge Chapman in the hopes of killing the American. The timestamp at the bottom shows it is now 6:05 in the morning and fully light. He's been fighting alone now for 40 plus minutes and has received more gunshot and shrapnel wounds as a result of the fierce combat. This scene shows the second of several enemy charges. In this stunning display of determination and courage, Chapman can be seen fighting hand to hand with the fighter. In the larger screen display can be seen additional enemy moving on to the summit. But right now, John Chapman is fighting for his life. 6 minutes later, in this new shot, Chapman can hear another helicopter approaching the summit. He is in the bottom center of the screen underneath the tree and can be seen in the magnified inset box as he begins his desperate final stand to save the lives of the 18 men on the helicopter. The red dots are enemy fighters. John begins engaging the enemy in multiple directions and is rapidly approaching the last of his ammunition. The helicopter contains a quick reaction force comprised of Rangers, pararescuemen, and another combat controller. It is now 6:13 and the helicopter is short final. The enemy is desperately trying to displace Chapman so they can put heavy weapons or rocket-propelled grenades in Bunker 1 while simultaneously engaging the helicopter. With the choice to save his life or the lives of his unknown comrades, Chapman makes the decision to climb out of the bunker and begin firing in multiple directions as can be seen in the inset. Suffering from as many as a dozen wounds, Chapman is in fact already in the process of dying. As he fights, the helicopter is struck by a rocket-propelled grenade and makes a remarkable controlled crash just below Chapman and the summit. Chapman, now off-screen, continues to cover his comrades as they pour out of the stricken helicopter. Some of them are fatally shot as they exit. These images, with Chapman fighting the enemy at close quarter, are the last to show him alive and in this heroic act, thus qualifying for his second Medal of Honor. Ultimately, Chapman would expend all but the last few rounds of his ammunition, until, finally, after 16 bullet and shrapnel wounds, Chapman succumbs when he is shot through the heart. We will never know his final thoughts or words, but what we do know is his decisions and actions single-handedly saved the lives of 23 comrades. For more information about John Chapman's amazing story and the details about this mission, visit danschillingbooks.com or your favorite book retailer to obtain a copy of the Chronicle of his life, Alone at Dawn.
Alone at Dawn to hear more about John Chapman's story. Wow. What a man. What a man. What did they say at the end? He succumbed. Obviously the last one went through his heart, pierced his heart. He'd already had as many as 16 different injuries or wounds. I don't know how many were bullet wounds, or has he been cut in the hand-to-hand fighting? Wow, what a story. I don't know what to say. I'm absolutely gobsmacked, lost for words. It's very rare I'm lost for words. 2 Medal of Honours, 1 is just incredible. Storming that bunker on his own initially, with a lot of distance between, well, the closest man was his team leader, the rest of the team further down the slope from him. They're obviously receiving gunfire from three, presumably 4 different positions. John, with no regard for his own personal safety, doesn't think twice, just charges towards Bunker 1, clears Bunker 1, takes out 2 enemy fighters. No messing about, straight out of there. His team leader's now caught up to him and he's engaging targets in the second bunker. but that's where it starts to go a little bit horribly wrong from him. He's still in bunker 1, firing into bunker 2 at enemy positions, where he's shot twice, and at that point the team start taking a lot of gunfire, and they've made the terrible decision, which they think, obviously Chapman's fatally wounded, he's been killed, but they're under a lot of enemy gunfire. An awful decision on their part, for them, not because of what they've done to John, but that terrible decision where you've got to go and leave someone. It must have been a horrendous thing to do, but there's no sense losing more lives. They already think John's dead. Let's bug out, let's withdraw from this position. Could you imagine going up a slope covered in snow, presumably it looked white, snowy mountain, under a hell of a lot of extreme enemy gunfire? It would be so hard to take those positions. They've got the advantage of dug in positions. You're only a several men. You're not going to win that gunfight. So to get out of there was the wise decision, but of course John is stuck. They thought he was dead at this point, but somehow he's managed to recover through, I don't know what, maybe it's the whole fight or flight situation where he can't retreat, so he's got nothing left to do other than fight, and fight he did. When that Chechen man came up to him and he fought him hand to hand and presumably killed him, it's just insane. It's incredible. It's incredible. Mind blowing. Huge respect. I'm lost for words at just how incredible this story is. But anyway, he's obviously dispatched to this man, and he's stuck. He can't go anywhere, so he decides to get up and not mess about and start engaging the targets in order to try and help the chopper get out of harm's way. He knows he's dead either way, so he fights on to try and get the chopper out, but the chopper's RPG'd out of the sky. Few of them come out the back. They've managed to safely land it. Few of them dismount from the chopper and are fatally killed instantly as they come out. But John is firing upon the positions in order to help them get into some sort of cover and keep them safe, earning him his second, I believe that was where they said, earned him his second Medal of Honor. To get one is incredible. What an achievement. But to get two, I don't know if it's ever been done before. If it has, it's amazing. Absolute hero. And I know that in the military the term hero is thrown out there quite willy-nilly at times, and a lot of soldiers that receive medals probably are quite humble and say, I just did my job. That's the mindset of soldiers. They never do anything for medals. They do their job, but sometimes you get situations where, like John here, have went beyond what normal soldiers would do. Even in tough situations, tough surroundings, under huge enemy gunfire, 16 injuries, bullet holes, cuts. I don't know how the extent of his injuries or what he was thinking, as they've said, and he's fought on. Actually, the hairs were standing on my arms, the goosebumps, the shivers down my spine, the tears welling up in your eyes. And he was eventually fatally shot through the heart and killed. But his story, thankfully for John, his story, I don't know if his family, obviously, his family are heartbroken. They've lost a son. I don't know if he was married, was he? With children, possibly. They got that terrible news that John wasn't coming home. But maybe they can take some sort of joy, I don't know what the word is, in knowing what John did and what he achieved in saving 23 fellow soldiers. Wow. What a story. The fact that was caught on video from CIA, was it aircraft or drone or something, I'm not too sure, I can't remember now what I said, but it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. He deserves it. He deserves that footage to be out there and viral. He never gave his life for nothing. They went out there to try and save someone, and ultimately that man was possibly already killed before they got there, but they didn't know that. And John fought on so bravely, as well as his team. They all went in there with the same mindset to go and save a fellow soldier or marine or whoever it was that was up there. And they were brave, they were all brave. But John ultimately paid the ultimate sacrifice in giving his life. And ultimately, in giving his life, he's managed to save 23 of his fellow comrades, which is just spectacular. What an achievement. There's 16 wounds. He's fighting hand to hand with a Chechen. He's killed him. And he's managed to fight on with these injuries and lay down suppressive gunfire to try and keep their heads down and allow his... wow. I salute you, John, mate. Rest in peace, mate. What a story. I'm absolutely blown away by it. I mean, I knew it was good. I've kind of spoke briefly to people about it. I didn't want to know too much of the details because I didn't want to spoil it for when I watched it. Mark, mate, thanks very much for the request. Thanks for becoming a patron. I hope you've enjoyed me reacting to the video. It's absolutely blown me away. Very rarely, as I said, I'm as speechless as what I am here. It's really got inside me, that it really has. What a man, what a man. And as I say, I hope his family can take some sort of, I don't know what the word is, something from that where they're obviously proud of their son anyway, and obviously they're feeling the grief and have the great loss. It is a huge hole in their family losing him, but they can take something from that, knowing that what he done was just nothing short of absolutely heroic. Two-time Medal of Honor winner John Chapman, gone but never forgotten, lest we forget. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. The link to the original video, you must see it again. I'm going to watch it again myself, will be in the description section below. If you would like to join our Patreon page and become a patron, that would be greatly appreciated, where we'll be doing personalised shout outs for our patrons on a video of your choice. Also our Instagram, our merchandise, etc., and our other YouTube channel, The Dawn of World Sports, which features quite a lot of different American sports, North American sports as well. Check that out too, is in the description section too. Thanks very much for watching. I am the Don Father, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.